What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and today we're talking about this week's Funko Pop news. And this will actually be the last episode of not only our advent calendar of content since we're nearing the end, but the last one of 2024. So if there's anything that I want you to comment today, it's letting me know if I should continue this series in 2025. Don't be one of those goofy goobers who just sits around and just watches the videos and doesn't do nothing afterwards. Do something, like, comment, but let's get right to it. So the first thing announced this week is that Danny Trejo had released his Funko Hollywood exclusive pop on his website, but autographed. So if you're a big Danny Trejo fan and you weren't able to make it to Funko Hollywood, you have an opportunity of not only getting his pop online, but getting it autographed. Now, as I'm recording this, I don't know if it's still available on the site or whether it's sold out, but it's something that happened this week, so I had to mention it. Then Funko Fusion had announced that The Office is coming to their game. They had released a trailer promoting the DLC pack, and as you may see, I can only show photos and not the video because I don't want to possibly get copyrighted and then get demonetized, which your boy DK needs that ad revenue money in order to buy some Christmas presents this season. So yeah, I don't want to get demonetized. And although I don't have Funko Fusion because it's not available for my system, it does look really interesting with The Office being added to it. Funko had announced a pop of Spider-Man and Sandwich the dog. Not gonna lie, I'm usually up to date with a lot of things, but I don't know if this is brand new or something that was announced a long time ago because I've never even seen this until now. Like, not even Diss Trackers had posted about this recently. I knew about the Spider-Man with the hot dog that's a box lunch exclusive, but I certainly didn't know about this pop that got announced. Speaking of more Funko Fusion news, Mega Man has entered the game with characters like Dr. Willy and Proto Man. Once again, likely I couldn't show you the promotional video for it because I don't want to get copyrighted. Then a set of Mickey and Friends pops featuring Daisy, Mickey, and Minnie were announced, and I guess these are okay. You know, I'm not really too interested in these pops considering that they make an abundance of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse that, like, I don't even know what else they can make nowadays, but somehow Funko always finds a way of ending up actually making pops of these characters. A glow-in-the-dark Green Lantern pop was announced, which also features a speech bubble. So this seems to be a new trend going on with Funko Pops where they have a speech bubble. We first seen this with, I believe, an Entertainment Earth exclusive Mary Jane Watson, and then they've added some pops, even more that we're going to be talking about throughout this video. Now, the question I don't know, but maybe you guys do, is this more than the regular price pop because now they're adding the additional speech bubble? Maybe this is considered like a premium or a plus. Next up, we have ourselves pops of Brightheart Raccoon and Cozy Heart Penguin for Care Bears cousins. So this is actually pretty interesting. Instead of just getting the Care Bears, we have different animals in the lineup, which honestly, this has made the lineup very refreshing instead of just getting the same different bears over again. Then we have a pop of Armand with Suitcase from the HBO original show, The White Lotus. Now, I don't know much about this besides the fact that I know some people that are mentioning that this is like a funny scene in the show and that the person that plays this character is Tom Selleck. So I guess that's pretty cool also. Then we have a set of Smallville pops featuring Doomsday Max, Kara Kent, and Clark Kent. Now, of course, this definitely makes sense considering that this week we did see the teaser trailer, I believe, for the upcoming James Gunn Superman movie, the first project under the James Gunn regime of the DC universe. So it makes sense that they're kind of diving back into the certain series that are relating to that movie and making pops of them. And I know that quite a bit of people are very excited about this set of pops. Then we have what looks to be a prototype for a Last Ronin pop that's expected to release in January. Pretty decent for what I'm seeing so far. Of course, he's holding some sort of chain with, like, I don't know if that's some sort of hook. I can't exactly tell because of course it is a prototype. It's one color. You can't really tell the detailing besides what it looks like with the molding. And speaking of those speech bubble pops that I talked about, we got the speech bubble pops of Bruce Banner and Wanda Maximoff from Marvel, but we also have a pop of Gizmo with Bo from Gremlins 2, the new batch. So the speech bubble pops, they're meh. I mean, I kind of figure that this is probably going to be a huge trend in 2025, but I am really excited about this Gremlins pop because I don't remember the last time we've actually had a Gremlins pop. pop. Next up is a new wave of Beetlejuice pops, which we have Beetlejuice on Tombstone, Dalia Dietz, Lydia Dietz, and then a glow-in-the-dark Beetlejuice on Tombstone exclusive to Entertainment Earth, along with Beetlejuice Shrunken Head exclusive to Entertainment Earth. This is a pretty sweet set of pops, and it's funny because quite a bit of these pops I had originally predicted as what I thought was going to be redeemables for the Beetlejuice NFT set. One of them actually being the Lydia Dietz in this exact moment where she is floating. And of course here we have ourselves adding on to the new lineup of Funko Pop Plus, or as I like to call it, the John Pop of Beetlejuice on Tombstone, which I believe the glow-in-the-dark specification of the Entertainment Earth exclusive is just the hair being green, if I'm not mistaken. And I do like the idea of the shrunken head Beetlejuice as its own separate pop, especially because that's a funny moment right at the end of the movies. Next up, we have a new wave of Demon Slayer pops, and I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce these names because, of course, all of these anime names, they're just too complicated to pronounce, and every time I pronounce them, you guys complain in the comments, oh, how come you can't pronounce it? Look, I get it, anime is a huge thing, but not everyone watches anime. I watched one season of Demon Slayer, so I don't know, like, literally 3/4 of these characters at the moment. But I can tell you that quite a bit of these characters are super detailed, like the Rengoku with, like, the flaming dragon of sorts, and then there is the AAA anime exclusive pop that actually looks really awesome with the amount of detail that's put into it. Next up, we have ourselves a new wave of Peanuts pops, which features a specialty series exclusive Snoopy with a chase. Now, it's pretty cool to actually see some Peanuts pops once again return to the Funko Pop lineup, and I guess once again, with that Charlie Brown pop, we are going to have another speech bubble pop, which I actually didn't realize until looking over this photo again. We have a new wave of pops for Rainbow Bright, which I remember that there was pops way back in the day. If I'm not mistaken, my co-host MD Shady actually has one of them, which is pretty cool that every single one of these pops, of course, are a pop and buddy. Next up, we have a wave of Sonic the Hedgehog pops, which features 3 4-inch commons, and then we have a 6-inch pop along with a flocked Funko Pop Plus, or John Pop, of the Supersonic with Chaos Emeralds. Now, this wave of Sonic pops is really cool. That Knuckles that's in the set is absolutely badass. Omega is really awesome, especially being the first pop of that character for the set. Rouge having her own singular pop for the very first time ever, because the only way you could previously get it is with the 2-pack with Knuckles as a GameStop exclusive. And then having Big being made into a pop is pretty sweet, and it makes sense to be a 6-inch because he's big. And then that Supersonic pop is absolutely gorgeous. Adding that flock specification is something I didn't expect it to have, and the way they have the Chaos Emeralds looks really awesome. I can't wait to see this in person when it likely makes it to my local GameStop here in Canada, since usually Target exclusives go to GameStop here in Canada. Then we have a new wave of Andor pops from Season 1. This is pretty decent. I didn't even know before reading this that it was for Season 1, considering I thought maybe it was hyping for Season 2 that's expected to release very soon, if I'm not mistaken. But I do recognize some of these characters, like on the bottom left there. It is the guy who's played by that one actor whose name I can't remember, who also played the villain in Black Panther. That's all I can remember him from, but I know he's from a bunch of different TV shows and movies, but I just can't remember his name. And then the last news we're going to be talking about is a pop of the lunch lady Chris Farley from Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary that was found in stores being exclusive to Target. Now, this pop is absolutely amazing. I think every single Chris Farley moment from Saturday Night Live should be turned into a Funko Pop, and I'm glad that this was one of those moments that became a Funko Pop. The only downer about this pop is that, of course, when we do the top 5 list of this week's individual Funko Pop announcements, which is coming up next, that this pop won't be eligible for the list because this technically is a leak and not a confirmed pop by, let's say, Funko or Target themselves. But nonetheless, speaking of that top 5 list, let's move on to that list right now. So coming in at number 5 on my list is the Treasure Hunter Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog. As some of you may know, Knuckles is my favorite character from Sonic the Hedgehog. However, I don't plan on getting it because I do have that flock Knuckles from TargetCon 2022, so I don't need, in my opinion, another Knuckles to go in my collection. Coming in at number 4 on my list is the Gizmo with Bo from Gremlins 2 The New Batch. this is really awesome to see some brand new Gremlins pops, especially for the second movie, instead of mainly focusing on the first movie. Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Entertainment Earth exclusive Shrunken Head Beetlejuice. I wish it was actually a Moments with the other two characters of like the voodoo guy and the other Shrunken Head character, but the fact that they ended up making this anyways as a singular pop is still really awesome. And coming in at number 2 on my list is the AAA anime exclusive Zohakutin. I probably butchered that name because, like I mentioned, I can't pronounce anime names properly, but this has so much detail involved with it, especially what they did with the eyes and kind of like that lettering within it, which looks really awesome. But of course, it didn't make it number 1 because I feel like out of all these pops I'm mentioning today, this is the one that I would least likely to get because I don't think I've seen this character yet from the one and only season I've seen of Demon Slayer. And coming in at number 1 on my list is the 6-inch Big from Sonic the Hedgehog. Not only do I love seeing brand new Sonic the Hedgehog pops, but I love seeing brand new characters, especially ones that we've been wanting for a while like Big, and I love the detail of obviously the fishing rod plus the little frog that is on his head. But anyways guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video, and if you enjoyed today's Funko Pop news video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below on what your favorite pops were from this week, and I hope to see you guys on another video here on the channel. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.